pretty exciting news that hasn't really officially been made public yet. We're waiting on a photo op with the Public Service Commissioner. We received a $1.6 million through an energy efficiency program, and that's through the Public Service Commission and through our power companies. Each month on your bill, you're being charged a small amount of money. I think it's maybe $5.99, something like that. Each customer is putting into this fund, and it was made to help residential customers become more energy efficient in their homes. Well, 80% of the funds were even being used on an annual basis. It's $15 million a year that they put out. And back in March 28th, they opened it up to where political subdivisions could apply for this funding, which is school boards, municipalities, and such. I was made aware of the program by a friend of mine back in April. He was at the tennis courts with his brother-in-law, and his brother-in-law works for this company that helped us secure this money. And he says, "Man, you got some lights out in the courts, you know, I can help y'all with that." And he says, "Well, what you mean?" He said, "Well, you know, I work for this company," and long story short, they set a meeting up with me because one of my old classmates, he had no idea. He comes to me and says, "Look, Scott, I got a way to save the city some money." And I'm like, "Okay, well," and everybody, most people have a way to save money. Some of it'll work, some of them don't. But so I listened to them, and they put us together with this company, and they helped us secure this funding at no cost to the city. We applied on May 15th. We were the only municipality to have our application turned in and complete on time. So we got all the funding that we asked for. If we would have had more time to put the application together, we probably would have got as much as we would have asked for, up to $15 million. But it was like a time crunch. We had about 20 days to put some information together. We were flying drones up at the rec center, getting information off the lighting there. All of the street lights in town. So all of the street lights that are built to the city. So as you ride around Eunice and you see all the street lights, well, we actually pay $10 a month per light to KEUN. Now, there are some lights that we don't pay for. That's the ones where it's not within our distance to actually put a light up. So the consumer, the customer, they'll call and get a light put up themselves. So based on that, just on the street lighting, we got $873,000 pretty much. And that's going to reduce our energy costs and also what we pay KEUN. Now, they are actually in meetings with KEUN right now because the contractor that's going to come and do these lights, KEUN wants to make sure they're certified and all that. But it's a little bump in the road, but it's going to be resolved pretty quick because this is the first of its kind in Louisiana that's being done. It's right here in Eunice. Now, on the rec lighting, we got $741,000. We submitted an application for all of the recreational facilities, even the old ballparks. So we went out there on Tuesday this week, and we went and kind of done some evaluating of the different areas that we applied for, and there's going to be some parks that we're not going to light up because we have plans for those areas in the future. But we can take that funding that was going to be dedicated to that and go towards different lighting, like if we want to add more lights down 13 or 190 or such. So we're going to be able to use the full amount of $1.6 million, and they're going to start on this. The project says the project must begin within 6 months of application approval notification. We finalized this, we sent it in, so no later than January 31st, 60 days from that point, they're going to start. So you're going to start seeing a huge difference. So not only in energy costs, but visibility at night. You're going to see, I think it's going to be a huge crime deterrent. Criminal activity doesn't happen when there's a whole lot of light out there. Chief can probably tell you that. So this is really good news for the city. And once the commissioner is ready, we're going to do a picture, and it's going to be state news because this is something big that we're the only ones that got. Now, everybody's going to be grabbing for it now, you know what I mean? So I don't think anybody will ever get the allotment like we got. Also,
Scott, how many lights are out there?
Oh man, 1,800.
And that's just street lights?
Yeah.
So you're going to replace those with these?
Yeah, replace the whole fixture, the whole 9 yards. We're going to own the lights. We're not going to be renting them from KEUN. All we're going to pay is the usage now.
So those when you ride around, Looks like a lot of lights were out.
You know what
But you go out and come back home, so it's kind of hard to.
That is the photo eye that is on those old lights. I asked that question. I said, is that going to affect these lights? Because they're going to be much brighter. You know, some newer cars are coming out with brighter headlights, which will kick those lights off. These will have some type of solar sensor on it that he explained it better than I can, that it's not going to have that problem anymore. They're going to stay on. The lifespan of these lights is probably 15 years or so. And just like at the wreck, they're going to start changing the lights over there, where you can control it with your phone or voice activated. Turn the lights on field 3, boom, they come on. We also, I'm pleased to announce that we got another grant, $460,000. Now this is a Louisiana Community Development Block Grant. This is for streets, mostly in low-income neighborhoods. This one is going to be targeted back, let's say the Happy Hill area, Frisco Heights, whatever it's called back there. They have a bunch of gravel roads. They're going to be paved now, so and like North Beulah and such. So we applied for this about 4 years ago, got denied. We reapplied and we got approved this time. So that's going to start soon on that. One thing the council approved 2 meetings ago was to proceed in the process to build a splash park in Eunice. Something that I think people have been asking for some type of recreation for these kids. The way we're going to use the funding to pay for this, and if you want, you can pass that to that table. We are going to take the money that CLECO gave the city of Eunice for their contract. They gave the city almost $500,000 to when they've done their contract renewal. We're going to take some of the funding. It's about $140,000 to build one of these things. We're going to probably build 2 of them. We're going to build one at the fairgrounds and one on the east end of town where the old pool was. The only thing that's really going to be a cost to us, liability is very minimal because you don't need lifeguards. There won't be standing water. You don't have to worry about anybody drowning. Biggest cost would have been water usage and energy. Well, the energy is not going to be astronomical, the price, because these things kick on when you activate it with a button. It starts spraying water, and it's only going to be used a couple months out of the year. The water, when we renegotiated the contract with LAWCO this past summer, I asked them to increase our water usage. That they give us 200,000 gallons a month. They were giving us 500,000 gallons a month, asking for 200,000 more. And they said, why? I said, well, we want to build some splash parks and we don't want to pay for the water. So they had really no choice but to renew the contract. But I'm glad to say that LAWCO has been very good to us, and they did honor what we asked for, so they're giving us the free water. So that's that. In regards to the fire truck, this is new. Nobody knows about this other than the fire chief and myself. Last Thursday, I read the paper a lot or online news, so I'm reading New Orleans news. I was checking out the Saints stuff and stumbled across an article about the city of New Orleans had just purchased 21 new ladder trucks and 500 police cars or whatever. So I'm like, wow, I wonder what they're going to do with that old stuff. So Mike Arnold, chief, was in my office Friday morning, and it popped in my head. I said, man, I remember I read an article last night. I'm going to email the mayor of New Orleans right now. So I got online and put an email together, sent it to him. I put the same email sent on letterhead. We put it in the mail that day. I said, he left my office, and I'm anxious. I'm like, I'm waiting for a reply, and I got an automatic reply, and I'm like, I'm going to call over there. I'm going to see if I can get through to the mayor of New Orleans, all right? So I got on the phone, called New Orleans mayor's office. I talked to this one lady, and we talked about 5 minutes. She said, well, let me bring you to this lady. So I was talking to her. She said, well, let me get you to the mayor's assistant. So 15-minute conversation about the Saints and everything else, and she says, let me just see if I can get the mayor for you on the phone. Sure enough, Mitchell Andrew answers the phone. He says, hey, how you doing? I said, hey, mayor, how you doing? He says, I hear you're in the market for a fire truck. I said, yes, sir. I said, I read an article yesterday. He said, look, I don't have much information regarding that, but I'll have my fire chief call you. Thank you, mayor. Bye. 30-second conversation. So this was Friday, so Friday afternoon. It was about 6 o'clock. got a phone call, 504 number. I better answer this one. I don't know who. It's gotta be good, right? So I answered. Hey, it's the chief from New Orleans Fire Department. He says, "Hey man, how you doing?" "Oh man, I'm doing great." I said, "Look man, I'm telling them everything. We got a 1972 ladder truck. I saw y'all got a truck." He said, "Hold on, I'm gonna stop you right there. I got some good news. I got some bad news. What you want?" I said, "I don't care. Whatever news is good to me." He says, "Bad news is we don't have any ladder trucks. We didn't buy any ladder trucks." God, all right. He said, "But we have some popper trucks that we did buy, and we could probably give you one." Like, give me one? He says, "Yeah, and they're 2006 model trucks, which would be the newest in our fleet, if we were, okay?" And I said, "Well, what do we have to do?" He said, "I tell you what, get your fire chief on the phone. We'll have a conference call, and we can go over the details. I can let you know what we have." He said, I'd recommend you come here with the mechanic, somebody who works on your trucks and such, and we can see what we can do." I said, "Would you happen to have any air packs we can have?" "Oh, we might have that too." "Oh man, okay." So
Any Saints tickets?
yeah, well, he didn't have any of those. All right, so this week we're waiting on a call Monday. He was in a public safety meeting, couldn't talk Monday, but Tuesday he calls me, and actually he just texted me while I was sitting right here. Calls us Tuesday before the meeting, and we had a conference call, and gave us some information on the truck. Sounds like something that we can really use, because our main engine went down, as was our reserve. So we're down to 2 trucks. I asked Chief Mike if it would be sensible to maybe ask him for 2 trucks instead of buying one, and it could be a possibility, because we haven't made any agreement yet to purchase the new truck. So we might go down there and get 2 trucks. Okay, so I'm excited about that. We were going to go tomorrow, but something came up. I can't make it, but we're going to be there Tuesday at 10 in the morning. Chief and I and our mechanics going to ride to New Orleans, so we're going to go meet the fire chief, and we're going to meet with their mechanics, their captains. They're going to tell us about the trucks. We're going to check it out. He said $10,000 to $20,000, you're going to have a fairly new truck. $10,000 to $20,000 of maintenance, maybe tires and hoses and such. So I'm very excited about that, and that's all it takes is just networking, picking up the phone, calling somebody. I mean, if I wouldn't have read that article or had the courage to call over there, because I mean, who does think they're going to even answer? You never know. So I'm excited about that. If we can make that happen, it's going to save us a ton of money right there, and we're going to have, if it'll be our newest truck. I mean, so. And he did say, Mayor, he said, we're starting to have a surplus in our funds here in New Orleans, and we anticipate on buying ladder trucks next year, and if we buy one, we're going to give you a ladder truck too. So, wow. So, that's the stuff that I've been doing, y'all, and if y'all don't see me here eating at Ruby's for lunch or anywhere, I'm telling you, I'm working my butt off, and I enjoy my job. I love it. I wouldn't want any other job, to be honest with you. I'm just working to make our city better, and I've been working with the chief on some things. We're trying to get creative on how to find a police raise within our budget. It's going to be tough to give the police and fire and the other city employees a decent raise. It's going to cost about $600,000 annually. Because somebody said, "Well, why don't you take the money you'll save off of this?" And it's not going to be there. It won't have enough. We're not at that point yet, but we're finding ways to be creative within our own budget. We're just doing our best to make sure that we spend your money wisely. And I'm going to look at my phone because I had printed something out, but my printer was acting crazy a while ago, so I'll have my notes here. As most of you know, Circle Park, we tore down the old equipment. I'm sure Robert touched on that. Did he talk about that? Once we get the necessary stuff in place, we're going to start replacing that. If anybody would like to make a donation towards the park, whether it's a bench or something like that, we'd be more than glad to take it. As far as like the lighting, going back to the lighting, we're going to redirect some of that stuff to maybe relight park, decorative lights down the boulevard, something you see maybe in New Orleans, down St. Charles, and maybe some lights around the Circle Park, something that's going to be attractive. So you can hopefully see that happening soon. If you haven't taken a ride back by the Harris tennis courts, we are resurfacing those courts. They haven't been resurfaced in my lifetime. Those courts are being resurfaced right now, and that's all going to be redone. We just done some dirt work on the baseball field. That's going to be a nice little park when we're done with it. Also, I have just recently created a maintenance department in the city of Eunice. Before, we never had an electrician, a carpenter, plumber. We never had nobody like that on staff. We have somebody on staff now. And Chief can tell you, these guys are working, man. We just put some new floors down in police records. I don't know how anybody didn't get sick working in there. You know, the carpet was so bad, but he's changing L.E.D lights. He's doing so many things. It's going to save the city so much money. It's unbelievable. We had somebody come out to replace the timer on the parking lot lights at City Hall. They said $600. Okay. Well, I said let's wait on that. I got this guy come and work for us. Let's see what, and it cost him $65. Okay. So that paid his whole week's salary and more. So things like that. We're going to start renovations at Southeast Center. We're going to be putting new windows in. We've got those old aluminum frame windows, the heat conductors. That building's not energy efficient at all. We're going to replace that. We're going to be doing some stuff at the Northwest Center. I mean, it's a very nice building, but it needs some work. We've got to maintain our stuff, and we never had somebody on staff to do that. So now we do. And this year, you might not see on the end of the budget line a reduction in costs, because we're putting money out there to start fixing these things that have kind of been just put down on the side. Nobody wanted to do anything with it. But I can guarantee you in next fiscal year, you're going to see a huge reduction in costs on maintenance, as far as electrical work and carpenter work and such like that. And then we're going to be able to do some things that we've been needing to get done at delivery, small renovations here and there. So I'm excited, y'all. We're making progress. I feel like we're making progress every day. If any of you ever have any suggestions, or you have a way to save the city some money, look, y'all let me know. I'm gonna look into it.